Hi everyone, welcome to my channel. Today I'm gonna show you how to save peperomia plant. On this table I have two peperomias. These plants came with my orchids when I purchased these two beautiful orchids from Lowe's. They had in their pots, they had these plants. In one pot I found these peperomias, both peperomias, and in another pot I found this plant. They call it pink wheel, and I'm gonna plant them both. Today I'm gonna show you how to plant and save this peperomia plant. Last time when I bought my orchids, my other orchids, I found this peperomia, as you see on the table. This peperomia plant, it was in my orchid pot. It was exactly this size. See, usually they put two peperomias in one pot, and here I had also two peperomias, and I planted these peperomias in different separate pot, as you see here. And this peperomia is doing great, and it grew 16 inches for me. It's pretty long plant now, as you see. It's very healthy plant. Its leaves are thick, and they are hard like plastic. See how they are shiny, and I think everybody would like to have this kind of plant. And sometimes these plants come with our other plants, for example with our orchids when we buy them. And you don't need to buy separate peperomia. If you buy orchid, it can come with your orchid also. And here you see I have other peperomias. This peperomia somebody gave to me, and it had 3 leaves. This leaf and one leaf fell off, and this leaf was exactly small leaf like this tiny one. It was just growing when it came to my house, and see, in short time, in 2 months, it grew so many leaves. It grew 6 leaves. See, this is 6th leaf, and it's doing great. This peperomia I propagated from a single leaf, as you see here. In this cup I planted 3 leaves, only 3 leaves, and from those 3 leaves these plants grow. Here, if you can see, the old mother leaf, it's dead. See, it's brown. That's mother leaf, this one. And from this leaf it grew 1, 2, 3 plants. See, and from this here I had another leaf, and it was dead, and I removed it. And from that leaf 3 peperomias grew. See, this, no, two plants grew from that leaf. And here I have another leaf which is dead, which is brown, the second leaf. See, that one is first leaf, and this one is second leaf. And from this leaf also 2 plants grow for me. And now I'm gonna show you how to plant. And here, see, I have another type of peperomia, and its name is Peperomia scandens variegata. I love this plant, and it's growing crazy, as you see here. See, I will turn this chair. See how it's growing. I need to replant this plant. I'm going to plant it in a hanging pot probably. See, it's growing crazy, and it's very healthy plant. And recently it bloomed for me. It has long spikes. Its blooms look like tail of the lizard, and it's so funny, and when you touch you will love that flowers. And today let's plant this peperomias and save their life. See, they are now active. This one is better. See, its leaves are shiny still and it's looking better. If we compare with mine, see, it was exactly like this, and see how they are. This is little bit not glossy. This one is glossy. See, it's shiny, and later it will become exactly this like this plant here. This one is not doing good. See, this plant is soft and not glossy. It's dull, and when I touch, I feel that this one is softer and this one is harder. See, because this plant is dehydrated, it doesn't have roots. Its roots are decayed. See, it has root rot. It's brown here, and now I need to cut this plant from up to healthy part. I'm very lucky that this plant has 2 roots. I can directly plant it. If you don't have any roots, you don't need to be worried, because these plants, they root very fast. Whatever you do, they grow. Even from a single leaf, you can propagate this plant, and you can cut even the branch and you put in water. For example, this peperomia I propagated 2 years ago from small cutting. It was even smaller than this one. I will show you here. My baby breaks my plants sometimes, and I don't throw away, and I put them to propagate. Sometimes I plant directly in the soil. Sometimes, if I don't have time, I put in water. See, in no time this plant grow roots. Here it has growing root, and you know, the on every node here is a leaf, and when the leaf finishes its node, we call this place node. Under every node, see, it can grow roots. See here, small things. These are roots. They are ready to grow. Whenever you put in a water, they grow roots from these places. And even this peperomia, which I have here, it has, from this one, it's better to see. It's very easy to see. See, here I will show you. Do you see this place? This is a leaf, and under leaf we have nodes here, and here is tiny things. When we put this, if we cut this from here and put in a water from these small places, from these small things, it will grow roots. Even you don't need to put in a water. You can directly plant it in a soil and they root. They're like pothos. If you ever propagated pothos, you know that they are very easy plants to propagate. And whatever you cut one leaf and put in a water, it will grow under the node here. See, it will grow new root, and at the same time from this place it will grow new growing branch. See, it's a growing branch, and they are relatives. They're very easy to propagate. That's why this peperomia and this peperomia, they have same structure. See, there is no difference between this and that. See, this one has small things to grow, and this one also. From these places they will grow easily roots, as this one here. It has small root now. Now I have 2 options. I can directly plant this peperomia in a soil, or I can put it in a water, and later on I will have this kind of roots. Let's start. This plant, see, it has already roots, and I don't need to put it in a water even. If you don't have roots and you are scared that you can lose this plant, what you can do, first of all, you need to clean this plant. You need to cut it. See, now I cut it. I cut that part, and there is no more black things here. If after one cut we see still black tissue, we need to cut more. And now I don't need to cut, because in one cut I cut enough till healthy part. And now I'm gonna plant this plant. I will leave it for a little bit until I prepare my pot and potting soil. This place will dry out a little bit, as we do with our African violets. And if we dry this place a little bit, it will not rot. It will stop, because these wounds will heal. Now I'm gonna leave it, and I will check this one. See, the even leaves, they are black, and 4 or 3 leaves last night I cleaned already. See, here another dead leaf here, and it had lots of dead leaves. I removed already them. And this one, see, from this leaf we can again propagate. If you don't want to throw away, you can cut this leaf and put in a soil, and it will root, or you can put in a water, it will root and will grow babies. It's very easy to propagate this plant. I think this one is healthy, because from the leaves, and when I press, I don't feel that this plant is sick or something happened with the roots. It has still good roots, and I can plant it. This plant, I see from this one, they don't grow long roots. You need to choose small pot. See, this one is sitting in this small pot. Today I checked its roots. I wanted to know how the roots are doing. And when I checked, I will show you too. When I checked, I didn't find here lots of roots. Sometimes when you take out the plant from the pot, you see here root bound, but I don't see here any. It has not long roots. It doesn't have long roots. It has short roots, and still this plant, see, it's doing great. It means you need to choose small pot. Some people, they say that it's very easy to rot the Peperomia roots. Maybe I plant them in small pot. That's why I don't root their roots. I don't rot their roots, or I don't water them too much. Maybe that's why. They grow very well for me, and I think that these plants are very thirsty plants. Whenever I check, I see that the soil is always dry. For example, let's see this one. See, I water this plant very often, and still see, it wants to drink. A couple more days I can leave it without water, but after 2 days I need to water it again. They love water, and this one, I don't know, every 3 days I water this one. Whenever I check, I see that the topsoil is completely dry. That time I water this plant. And this one, how I water, because I put here this wick. I fill this cup until I fill it till half. I put half cup of water and I place my pot here, and it drinks from this water. See, it's touching, it's coming, this pot is coming up to here, and this much water I put. And whenever I see that the topsoil is dry, when topsoil is dry, I put here again water. I need to check first. See, when I don't see any water, I put water. Even these roots are growing outside, out of the pot, and they attach to the wick, and this plant is very happy and it's growing so fast. When I took it out from the greenhouse, it started doing great, and see, it's very healthy plant. And let's start with these plants. Now I will start planting this one. First I will show you how to plant this one. Let's say you have peperomia and you have root rot and you don't have any roots like this. This root will help to survive this plant, but let's imagine that you don't have any roots. And for this, if you are scared to lose this plant, I will show you the best method for growing any kind of cuttings. Which this method I use mostly for my African violets. You know, most of people cannot propagate African violets, but this method is for African violets, and for any cuttings you can use this method if you cannot grow some cuttings from, you know, from the which they don't have roots. Here, this peperomia I planted. See here, half cup of potting soil, and the top is perlite and vermiculite. In the same way I want to use for this peperomia. Oh, it's not stable now, I don't know, maybe. Okay, here I have my potting soil. I mixed here coconut, perlite, vermiculite and potting soil. Here I have everything. And if you don't have coconut, you can use cocoa chips which you took out from your orchid pot. Here yesterday I told you that that I don't throw away these cocoa chips. Whatever is I take from pots, I save and I can use for my other plants. Now we can use these cocoa chips, or if you have cocoa coir, you can add to your potting soil, or you can add these things to your potting soil. It makes your soil very good. You will have very well soil. And here I put half cup of soil, and on top I want to put my perlite and vermiculite. Little bit perlite and little bit vermiculite, and that's it. And now I will show you something. I will mix the top. You see the vermiculite and perlite, they are moving. And now I will show you something here. I told you that I will let dry. I will leave this cutting, let it dry. This wound is dry now. See, it's healed. There is no sign of water. See, it's dry. And now I will place my cutting here. See here how much vermiculite and perlite I put, and I place my cutting here in the center. And see, this vermiculite and perlite, it will hold my cutting when I water it. See, pay attention what I'm doing. I don't make soggy this soil. I just put water on top of this vermiculite and perlite, and you will see something. I will show you. If you watched my previous videos about African violets or other plants, you know what I am doing now. But if you didn't watch my videos before, you will see what I am doing. See, this water, it made a little bit moist the top part. See, and this water, it didn't even go down. And now you see that vermiculite and perlite, they stick to each other. It's not moving. See, it's stick. And oh, sorry. And the water is going now a little bit down, and this water is enough for this plant. Now what I'm gonna do, everybody has a cola bottle, and I prepared this cola bottle to plant my orchids, but now I'm gonna use it for my cutting. Here I put some sphagnum moss, which I took from my orchids. I put it. It's all sphagnum moss. You don't need to have new. And I will make this sphagnum moss a little bit moist. And I'm building greenhouse for my cutting. And this water is enough. And here I'm placing my cutting. This cup doesn't have any holes, as you see. It doesn't have any holes because whenever I water, whenever I see that the top part is dry and the pot is light, I water it. It's very easy to water when you put on top vermiculite and perlite. You can easily find out if you need to water or not. Here now it's the vermiculite and perlite, it's sticking to each other. When it needs to be watered, it starts being separate from each other, and it will move to from side to side like this. When you shake it, the perlite and vermiculite, they start moving. And now this water will go down, and later on when I take it tomorrow or after 2 days to check, I will see that the soil will become evenly moist, and the whole soil, it becomes one color. It becomes more brown. And here I can place my pot in the center like this, and I can cover my plant with the top of the cola bottle. This is greenhouse, and I don't need to open it because I have already here, see, it's here is a hole little bit, see, here is a hole, and if I turn it this side, you see, you can see. And here I made cuttings. From these cuttings air can go, but this place, it will stay warm, and this plant is gonna root faster. You can use this method. And the second one is still good, and I'm gonna plant it in this pot. I chose small pot, see, and even smaller I can choose, but I chose this one. I prepared this one for this plant, but now I see that it's better to plant this one in this clear pot because I can observe the roots, and here I don't need, and that's why I am making a little bit, see, I am removing the soil a little bit because it's compacted. And when we disturb the roots a little bit, they will grow faster. When they are damaged, they grow faster. See, and I am gonna put a little bit soil in the pot. This much is enough. I don't need to fill this pot. And I make hole with my hand like so, and I put my plant even less I can put. And I place my plant in the center, and first of all I wanna put its own soil around the roots because it used to be in this soil. See? And I'm gonna put from my soil and plant this plant, and the rest I am mixing together, and I cover this plant roots. I press little bit, not too much. I don't press too much. I press until the soil will hold my plant, and I will place this pot in this plastic pot, and I water. I make the top wet. I put water. The water is not enough. I'm gonna put some more. See? And this much water, I think it's enough. And we will see if the water is coming down or not. Even it's not coming, it's enough. I don't make soggy when I plant. I make just the top part very well wet because I don't wanna see that the soil is moving, and that then little bit after little bit the soil becomes evenly moist, and that's it. Now we saved this one and we planted this one. And one thing I want to tell you, here I have, you see that this peperomia grown, and today I put this orchid spikes because this plant, it cannot hold itself. It's long, and the top part is heavy, very heavy, because day by day, every time it's growing larger leaves. See, bottom leaves are smaller and the top leaves are bigger and bigger every time, and this plant cannot hold itself. And I was planning to cut this plant, and if I cut and I plant the top, I can see that later on this plant will grow new branches and it will become more, you know, beautiful, because when they branch, when I like to see plants with full top like head, I don't like this kind of plant. But when I put this sticks, I like how it's looking now. And if you are planning to see branched peperomia, what you need to do, for example, I don't want this peperomia to grow like this one. What I need to do, I need to pinch the top leaf. If I pinch it, it cannot grow further, and it will it doesn't have any place to grow, and it will branch later. If you wanna do that, you need to do now. Let's do with this one. See, this one is growing new tiny leaf here. As you see here, new tiny leaf. If I pinch, if I take out this new leaf, it cannot grow anymore. See, I took out with my nails, and it cannot grow, and this plant will branch under every leaf. It will grow new branches. I love to see that kind of plant, bushy plant, not single plant like this. But now it's looking good, right? See, now it's started looking better than last time. Last time when I showed you this peperomia, it was hanging, it was looking down, it couldn't hold itself. Now it's better, it's pretty. Now I changed my mind. I'm not going to cut this plant. I will let it grow how it's growing. It will continue, and we will see how long it can grow. They say that peperomias grow 9 inches, but my peperomia is 16 inches already, and we will see how long it can grow if I don't cut. This once I cut it, as you saw. Thank you for watching. Please subscribe my channel if you are new in this channel. If you learned, I hope you learned something from this video. If you like, put thumbs up, and see you next time. Bye.